It's time to talk sports, greyhound racing, horse racing, and sports betting with your host, Kip Keefer. Don't just watch the action. Get out to Birmingham Greyhound Racing and put a bet on it. Here are today's tips and strategies to help you get in the winning game.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our second week of Talking Sports here on Channel 21. I'm Kip Keefer. If you missed last week's show, you missed a lot, but we're glad you're on board this time. We talked about Justified, the Belmont, the Triple Crown. All those things came to pass. We'll have more on Justify and that big story a little bit later on in the show. But today, well, this is Birmingham, Alabama. We are in the epicenter of the football universe, so it's never too early, even though it's only mid-June, to talk about college football in the Deep South, the SEC specifically, and boy, do I have the expert for you to facilitate that task. Sitting next to me, looking very Miami Beach in his spectacular blazer, it's the one, the only. He's a legend on the Paul Feinbaum Show, and coincidentally, he's called the Legend. And Legend, welcome to Talking Sports. We are looking forward to making this a regular event, having you on to be our college football expert, and this is going to be a blast.
Well, I'm looking so forward to it, Kip. I mean, you got baseball, you got basketball, Kip, soccer, all this college stuff going on. But it's time to tee it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to tee it up, Kip.
Yeah, we're not that far away. Teams will be going to training camps and start drilling. Of course, if you're not familiar with the Legend, first of all, that's kind of hard to believe. I think everybody's familiar with the Legend. But when you talk about Alabama football, this is absolutely the authority, and we are looking forward to visiting with him. I told you last week on the program we're going to spend a lot of time on this program telling you everything you need to know to get maximum enjoyment from all of your sporting events, whether it be on playing fields or racetracks around the country. And the Legend's going to help us not only to analyze games and break things down, but Legend, we're going to kind of focus on this program on the sports investing procedures.
Yeah, it's all about the money, baby. It's all about the money. Get them bills paid. You know you need to pay that woman some money. Get your bills paid. Listen.
All right, well, let's just kind of get a little head start today on the SEC football season. As I mentioned, it's mid-June. We're not that far away. September 2nd is the big day, and it's not. It's going to be on us before we know it. You wanted to talk about the SEC West today, which, of course, is the focus of most people that are in our viewing area, and identified today the Legend's early handicapping of the pretenders and the contenders in the SEC West. And I know I'm going to be shocked to hear your number one contender as you start your list.
Well, you know, the Alabama Crimson Tide is the Muhammad Ali of college football. When you talk college football, Kip, you have to start with Alabama. It's like talking the NFL. You got to start with the New England Patriots. When you talk the NBA, you have to start with the Golden State Warriors. And when you talk college football, you have to start with the Alabama Crimson Tide. They are a supreme contender this year in the SEC West. They're the favorite, Kip, clearly the favorite.
You know, one thing I like to look at every year, Legend, is the schedules. And Alabama certainly looks favorable. If you're not familiar, in the SEC, the way the schedule breaks down, you play one constant opponent from the other division, which for Alabama is always Tennessee, and you pick up another opponent each year in addition to playing the 6 other teams in your division. Yes. So we know all those games are every year. This year, we know Tennessee is always on the schedule. Alabama, they have the Missouri Tigers in Tuscaloosa. Not too ominous a challenge.
No, it's not. And Tennessee has got major problems. Tennessee may be the worst team in the SEC East, and that's even including Vanderbilt.
Wow.
They may win a few games, but there's no guarantee that Jeremy Pruitt is going to be another Nick Saban. He could be another Derek Dooley.
Well, you just terrified Orange Nation.
Oh, my Lord.
So we got Alabama, top contender. Number two, I'm proud of you because I know it's tough
It's television, Kip. You got to be honest.
That's right. But for the legend to say anything good about Auburn is a big stretch. But Auburn does figure to have a very stingy defense. And what's your take on the Tigers coming into this year?
Well, Paul Feinbaum and Danny Sheridan both let me know if you're going to go on TV, you got to tell the truth. And sometimes we love having fun with the Auburn Tigers as an Alabama fan, but this is a dangerous team. When you look at Jarrett Stidham, you're looking at one of the best, I say again, one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And their defensive line, Kip, next to Alabama, may be the second best defensive front in the nation. Big Cat Brian up there, he's a monster.
Wow,
He's a monster. All three returning linebackers are back for Auburn. And this is a team that will be the only team on the Alabama schedule this year, Kip, who will not be a double-digit underdog to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Their crossover opponent, we've already mentioned, ironically, Tennessee. So Georgia is their regular crossover opponent, so that's no bargain. But Tennessee is who Auburn picks up this year. Can't remember a Vol-Auburn game in quite a while.
Well, the big thing for Auburn is, can they break their losing streak in the Georgia Dome? That Washington game will be key to the Auburn season. Auburn, according to Danny Sheridan, is a 3-point favorite going into this game. If Auburn goes in there and takes care of business, Auburn is on their way to a great, possibly fantastic season that could culminate with a Iron Bowl, Super Bowl to see who goes to the college football. But if they lose that first one, it could be an 8-4, 9-3 season down on the plains.
Number three on your list, Mississippi State, new coach Dan Mullen's not coming out of the tunnel for the first time in a long time. But you think the Bulldogs still have some pretty strong returning personnel?
Yes, absolutely. You know, I heard Joe Moreland, their new coach, say this week to Sports Illustrated that they not only wanted to compete for the SEC West, they wanted to compete for national championships.
Wow.
Now, I think Joe Moreland may be a little ahead of himself now. We're talking Mississippi State Bulldogs, but make no doubt about it, Dan Mullen's left the cupboards pretty full down in Starkville. And when you look at this team, Jeffrey Simmons, NFL scouts are just drooling over Jeffrey Simmons. And he may not even be, there's another guy, I can't think of it, Montez something, but I mean, this guy's awesome too. I mean, this guy's awesome too. This state team, if Nick Fitzgerald comes back and is healthy, what this new coach has is a bigger version of the Todd McShay quarterback that he had at Penn State. Mississippi State could shock the SEC this year.
All right, we got to speed through the pretenders here as they come up.
Not difficult.
But you have LSU, which might surprise some people, as a pretender.
Well, here's the thing about LSU, Kip. Coach O is not the coach to take LSU to the promised land. Coach O will be O and forever against Nick Saban. It's a total waste of the LSU Nation's time. Go get you a big-time coach. You are headed back towards Arkansas instead of extending towards Alabama. As a LSU fan, you had to say no. When Alabama kept Mike Shula, I said I'd go chain myself to the president's door if they didn't get rid of him. Come on, LSU fans. Go take it. You're a pretender when you should be a contender.
And finally, of course, we don't have to really talk about Ole Miss and Arkansas. They're really rebuilding. But Texas A&M paying Jimbo Fisher a lot of money to be on the pretender list.
Oh, yeah, pretender. Here's the thing. A&M is a sleeping giant. Already their 2019 recruiting class is listed as number 2 in the nation behind Alabama. The future is so bright down in Aggie lands, you're going to have to wear shades. But here's the problem. It's not the future quite yet in the SEC West for Texas A&M. Alabama will beat this team by 30, and when Alabama's going to beat you by 30, you're a pretender, not a contender.
There you go, folks. We got the legend on the set today on Talking Sports. When we come back, we're going to really whet your appetite, talk about some first week matchups and the early Las Vegas lines. You're watching Talking Sports, back after this short timeout. Very well. I assume we ran a little bit over there, but we can just shorten up this segment. Say again? Yeah, but it's really faint. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you have to yell to get my attention, I appreciate. I heard you a couple times, but I couldn't make out what you were saying. I assume that was the 1 minute and the 15 second, and I know we probably ran over. So, how much time we need to reduce this segment? Okay. Yeah, like I say, however you have to do it, just make sure I hear the 1 minute call.
4, 3, 2.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Talking Sports on Channel 21, getting ready for a huge weekend. Lots of great action at Birmingham Greyhound Racing. Hope you're planning on getting out today. I'm here with the legend who, we're talking college football. It's not too early. If you're just tuning in, we are giving you a little bit of a sneak preview of the SEC season. We talked about SEC West's contenders and pretenders. Well, now let's get into the real nitty-gritty, legend. Let's talk about opening weekend. There are some great matchups. All 4 of these games are on neutral fields. We talked about Alabama. They're playing the Louisville Cardinals. Lamar Jackson will not be on the field in that game. He is an NFL player now. And apparently the odds makers in Las Vegas don't believe that anybody for Louisville's coming out. Alabama is a 31-point early favorite.
Yeah, and that may be the halftime score right there, Kip. That may be the halftime score. You know, this Alabama team potentially has the greatest offense in the history of the school. When you look at Tua, Harris, I mean, it just goes on and on. The 3 sophomore receivers, Smith, Ruggs III, Judy. This potentially is the best offense in school history. I see a 52-3 score here. Get your money right.
Oh, wow. All right, we talked about your Auburn Tigers. They
no,
are opening.
Not my Auburn Tigers, Skip.
I knew I'd get that reaction.
Charles Barkley's Auburn Tigers.
It's definitely Charles's. Legend touched on it before, but the main point I want to emphasize, this is the 3rd consecutive game that Auburn will be playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The first 2, the SEC championship game against Georgia, the second against Central Florida, who's declared themselves the national champions.
Yeah.
I know you really enjoyed that.
Yeah, make believe.
President Hillary Clinton had him to the White House for a celebration, by the way.
Hillary, make believe.
Anyway, the point is, Auburn is back in Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the 3rd consecutive time. They're a 3-point pick against the Washington Huskies.
I'm going to shock you, Auburn fans. I'm going to shock you, Kip.
All right.
I like the Auburn Tigers to win this game, but I love the 4.5 points. I think this will be a field goal game at the end, but I love the Auburn Tigers to pull out a tight victory here. But if Vegas given 4.5, Washington is a very good team. Best matchup, I think, of week 1, Kip, right here.
I should have mentioned the Alabama game's in Orlando. We were talking about neutral
matter. It
field.
could be on Mars. It wouldn't matter, Kip.
They haven't gotten quite that far with the program up there yet.
We're recruiting a player from up there.
We have had games at Air Force bases and at NASCAR tracks, so I guess anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
All right, let's look at a couple of the other SEC matchups on neutral fields. Charlotte, North Carolina. Tennessee, under Jeremy Pruitt, who you've already indicated that you're not real high on here, They open up against the West Virginia Mountaineers, and they're a 7-point underdog. Not much respect for an SEC team.
Well, they shouldn't be much respect here. Tennessee is a program really in decline. I don't see it being a close game. Will Grier, who should be the Florida quarterback now, is the best quarterback in the nation. This is an awesome team. This is my surprise team to make the playoffs this year, West Virginia.
Wow. You heard it here first.
An easy win. Again, an easy win. Get your money right. Pay that power bill right here.
Okay, the last one on our list, a game I'm really intrigued by. At Jerry World in Dallas, Texas, Cowboys Stadium, the matchup is the LSU Tigers, Coach O, going up against Mark Richt and the Miami Hurricanes. That's a 2.5-point line. LSU is actually favored over Miami, who has coming off a pretty darn good year.
Yeah, I'm shocked by this line right here. I'm taking Miami plus the 2.5 all day long. Again, this is a LSU team. They should be a contender, but they're not. They're a pretender. But this Miami team is a borderline contender, and that makes them the pick in this game. Get your money right. You know you need that water bill paid. Get your money right here.
The legend is running down your whole list.
I'm trying to get you paid. I'm trying to get you out of debt right here.
To get you
the
ready for
Birmingham Race Course where you go place these Vegas-style bets. I'm trying to help you out here, public.
And we have a sports contest there that's outstanding.
Outstanding.
Where actually, you purchase Track Goods and Services, you get points that allow you to participate. So it's not sports betting. It's a contest, a sweepstakes, but it simulates as close as we can legally the real thing. So you're looking for action. All of these games will be available at the Birmingham Race Course.
Yes, great place. Come be a part of the Vegas-style parlays. You'll love it. The legends out there, Kip's out there, all kind of stars coming through all the time. What a great place to be. And if you want to get down on some Vegas-style parlays, that's the place to go.
We got to duck out for another break. When we come back, we're going to see the Justify performance we talked about last Saturday here on the program. You're listening to and watching the Talking Sports Edition 2 here on Channel 21. Back after this break. You're a natural.
How long we got on this one? We doing the?
I guess I'm going to promote our picks on the Facebook page, and then I'll just say, and let's take a look at what happened, and you guys can fire it up.
Stand by. 4, 3, 2. Right over here.
Oh, we are going to the other one now?
Wait.
There ain't
This is
nothing.
the only one we're using as far as I'm
Yeah, I've been looking at that one the whole time.
Okay. 3, 2.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Talking Sports on Channel 21. Kip Keefer, the legend, with you on this program. And we have covered a little college football. I want to remind you, every week, if you go to Birmingham Greyhound Racing's Facebook page, you can see the races to watch for the week, the big sports events coming up, and some picks and selections to help you be a winner. Just log on right now, Birmingham Racecourse. It's actually Birmingham Greyhound Racing Facebook page. And while you're there, click the like button, and you can be kept up to date with everything that's happening at the track. All right, legend, last week, the program was all about the Belmont. It was all about a Triple Crown chance for Justify. Let's go back in time 1 week ago today and see how that came out. We picked Justify. Did he deliver?
Restoring hope is put to a ride as Vino Rosso begins to rev it up on the outside. Bravazzo is down toward the rail. They've run a mile in 1:38.09 seconds. Justify is the leader, but it's just a half-length advantage here. Vino Rosso comes under a ride. Mike Smith has not asked Justify to go just yet. Justify a length lead here as they come to the top of the stretch. Vino Rosso is second. Hofberg comes on the scene, and Gronkowski has cut the corner, and they're into the stretch. And Justify comes roaring home to a raucous Belmont Park with 1 furlong to run. Gronkowski and Hofberg trying to run him down. Vino Rosso is fourth, a 16th to go. Justify is still there. Justify from Gronkowski. He's just perfect, and now he's just immortal. Justify is the 13th Triple Crown winner. Gronkowski was second, Hofberg was third, and Vino Rosso was fourth. Justify has done it.
Justify has the lead, and now he has become immortal.
Wow.
That was Larry Colmus's call, which was pretty awesome. Gives you some goosebumps. They've been doing that for 144 years. That's only the 13th horse to break through.
Wow.
Big time stuff. Now, as much as Legend knows about college and, well, all football and sports, still kind of new to the racing game, which I think is a good thing here because, as we told you last week on the program, we're going to try to give you a lot of information on different ways to approach racing and sports wagering. And so the Legend's a good sounding board for anybody who really wants to know more about that. And last week, Legend, we talked about different ways to play the race. But, you know, one of the things that I kept hearing on Saturday leading up to the race were people saying, oh, this Justify is going to win. There's no way to make any money on the race. Not true.
Not true.
The way to go is, and let's take a look at the at the graphic here. It's a really simple way to approach this. In a race where you really have a horse that you like, just like a team that you really like, you don't take a defeatist attitude and say, I can't make any money here because everybody likes this team or this horse. You got to really zero in on trying to identify the other contenders that are going to run second or third or even fourth if you like the superfecta play. Here's a simple bet that you could have employed last Saturday if you really decided and take a stand that Justify is going to win the race. You play the 1. We said here on the show last week the 4 and 8 were our second choices, Hofberg and Vino Rosso. And then the all horse never loses it, Gary. He is always in the money because you got everybody. So 1 with 4-8 with all, 1 with all with 4-8. That would have been a $32 investment for a dollar trifecta. It paid $124 for that bet. I would say that's a pretty good return, almost $100.
Nice, Kip. And I appreciate you showing me this because so many people want to go to the race course and bet, but they always ask me, how do I bet? Football's easy, Kip. You just say -10, but when it comes to racing, this is fascinating.
Well, we're going to give you a lot of different ideas and strategies each and every week here on the program. And once we get into football season and the sports betting, since the featured contest at Birmingham Racecourse is the parlay, there's some strategies on how you can use your different approaches to make that a maximum too, because at the same prospect, if you've got to justify a team that you just love, you can build a lot of wagers in the parlay around that key team.
Yeah, I'm a parlay man. Take baseball, for example. Everybody knows the Baltimore Orioles are going to lose every night, Kip. So all you got to do is find a team you like to go with the Orioles, and boom, your 1 is now 2.5. and the best thing to do in football season, listen to me because I'm listening to Danny Sheridan and I think I got that right today. Yeah, I think I got that right.
Yeah, well, yeah, Legend, and we do have some really good resources to call on.
Yes.
The Legend, of course, involved with the Paul Feinbaum show and in constant contact with Danny Sheridan. And I've got all the Las Vegas connections, including my son is one of those guys in the desert. I always like when they say those guys in the desert know what they're doing. I say, that's my boy. He's the sports editor of the Las Vegas Sun, won a national award for his NFL picks last year. So as far as great information, Legend, they are in the right place here on Talking Sports.
Yeah, spread the word every Saturday morning. Get down with us because when you go into the weekend, you want to go in with a strategy that's going to win you money. You don't want to go in the weekend with $500 and end up with 10 in your pocket because you know that woman going to kick you in the street. So come right here for you tune in to ESPN and other channels and get your wagering right.
Time for our final break. We'll wrap it up on this edition of Talking Sports. Kip and the Legend back after this. And down the stretch we come on another edition of Talking Sports. Final segment here, Kip Keefer, the legend, and we have been having a great time getting you ready. A little college football primer. I mean, look how pumped this guy is. We're still 2.5 months away. He's already given the signals.
I'm ready, Kip. Tee it up, baby. Tee it up.
We've only got about a minute left, but I want to ask you the $1 million question. Can Alabama fans possibly expect another national championship this year?
Of course, Kip. Of course.
Of course.
Of course. That's what we play for. That's what we live for. That's what separates us from the other teams in college football. If we don't win a ring and go 14-1, it's been an unsuccessful season.
Wow. Well, I still hear people say that, we won the national championship, but we didn't beat Auburn. So that's hilarious. I think a lot of Alabama fans would maybe make the trade.
Hey, Auburn can have it every year. Throw all the toilet paper they want. Just give us the ring, baby.
Hey, Birmingham Greyhound Racing, the place to be today.
Yes.
The gates are already open. You can come out. We got all the baseball lined up, other events, and horse racing from all over the country. Watch all of the major tracks live. Greyhound Racing.
Yes.
The dogs are performing right there on the track at 2 o'clock this afternoon for the matinee, 7:25 tonight. It is an action-packed day of excitement. You don't want to miss it. Final word, legend.
Final word is get ready for football. Get ready to come out to the Birmingham race course where all the sports people in Birmingham are coming to get down on any kind of sports you can imagine. Get ready to tee it up. It's an honor to be with you, Kip. Are you ready for some football?
We've had a great time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Back next week at 11 o'clock right here on Channel 21. I'm Kip Keefer for The Legend. Have a great week, everybody.